Beneath the silent ridges of the Appalachian Mountains, beyond where tourists tread and maps grow vague, lies a buried history sealed in darkness. The land is old here, older than memory, older than men, and in one particular region of southern West Virginia, deep within the gnarled hills and collapsed shafts of the defunct Black Hollow mine, something stirs. Not a beast of claw and tooth, but a presence. A gaze. A sentient void with a name whispered only by the oldest tongues. The hollow glare. Locals don't speak of it directly. Not anymore. Too many have disappeared. Miners, wanderers, thrill-seekers. They'll tell you the earth sometimes breathes wrong in those woods. That if the wind stops all at once, if your light flickers without cause, and if you hear a voice that sounds just like someone you miss, you're already too deep. The stories aren't about running away from danger. They're about being invited in, gently, lovingly, until you're lost in a blackness with no bottom. That's how the hollow glare takes you. Not with violence, but with welcome. The tale begins in the late 19th century when Black Hollow was alive with coal and greed. 17 men descended into Shaft 12 on a clear autumn morning in 1889. None were seen again, not as corpses, not even as bones. Only shattered helmets, tools bent backward, and a single lantern still burning on the tracks. The mine was sealed. But in nearby towns, whispers began. Of a pale figure seen at dusk on the ridge lines. Of eyes so black they seemed to suck in lantern light. Old-timers swore it wasn't a ghost, but something older than God and quieter than death. One journal survived the collapse, belonging to a foreman named Elias Crowder. He described waking up in the mine alone, hearing his mother's voice echoing from a dark corridor. He followed it until he reached a dead-end wall, and two holes in the air, shaped like eyes, staring back. He wrote, "They weren't eyes. They were where eyes should be. Like someone forgot to finish making the face." He claimed he lost time. That when he looked away, it was morning. Days had passed. He was outside the mine with dirt in his mouth and scratches down his legs. He died weeks later, blind and screaming about the silence behind the eyes. The mine stayed closed, but the disappearances continued. Hikers vanishing, families reporting loved ones going for walks and never returning. By the 1950s, the area was considered cursed. Locals marked trees with red paint and refused to camp near the old ridge. Rumors changed. The hollow glare, they said, was not one creature, but a force, something that mimicked familiarity. It used voices you trusted. It showed you faces you missed. It fed not on flesh, but on surrender. Fast forward to the modern era. In 2019, a group of urban explorers called the Hollow State uploaded a video titled Appalachian Deep Dive, Haunted Mine Challenge. It was meant to be just another internet stunt. 5 entered a tunnel believed to connect to the original Black Hollow shaft. The footage begins normally. Nervous laughter, GoPros mounted on helmets, tight corridors of collapsed timbers and spider-cracked walls. Then the mood shifts. Their lights begin to flicker in unison. One member turns suddenly, claiming she heard her brother, who died years earlier, call her name. Another says he saw a figure standing motionless at the tunnel's end. The last scene shows the group sprinting in chaos. Then the camera falls to the ground. For 3 hours, static. Then a final frame. 2 perfectly round voids floating in the darkness, staring straight into the lens. Only one member of the group was found. She was discovered 5 miles from the mine, barefoot and in shock. When interviewed, she claimed they were called deeper by something that felt like home. "It sounded like everyone I'd ever lost," she whispered. "And I wanted to follow." She was institutionalized and has never spoken publicly again. AI-enhanced audio analysis of the video revealed embedded whisper frequencies that resembled fragmented human speech layered at subsonic levels. Phrases like, "Come with me," "Almost there," and "You're safe now." None of these were heard by the explorers at the time. Paranormal researchers suggest the entity uses infrasonic communication to influence the mind, bypassing conscious resistance and making people want to disappear. Even more disturbing is the pattern of hallucinations tied to the hollow glare. Survivors often report false memories, events, and people that never existed. One man, a local named Calvin Hodges, claimed he spent 3 days in the mines talking with his dead father, only to be pulled from a collapsed tunnel by rescue crews who said he had been underground just 30 minutes. He wept when they told him his father had died 20 years ago. "But he was right there," Calvin said, "and he told me it was okay to stay." The creature, if it can be called that, is never directly seen. What people experience is its eyes. They appear first in reflective surfaces, in helmet visors, puddles, even the glass of broken lanterns. Always twin black voids, perfectly circular, unblinking. Looking into them induces vertigo, nausea, and an overwhelming sense of peace. That's its trap. It offers comfort in exchange for everything else. Cryptid theorists are divided. Some believe the hollow glare is a naturally evolved subterranean predator, one that uses hypnotic bioluminescence or psychic influence to lure prey. Others argue it's a supernatural entity, a remnant of pre-human consciousness that dwells in silence, feeding on grief and memory. A few radical thinkers propose it's a dimensional echo, a tear in our reality where sentient darkness leaks through. No matter the theory, all agree on one point. You do not go looking for it. It finds you when you're alone, and when you most want not to be. In this video, I'll journey through the chilling layers of this cryptid's history, from the forgotten miners who first vanished to the broken minds of survivors who returned physically but never mentally. You'll hear voice-clipped testimonies from modern explorers, dissect AI-enhanced footage showing shadow anomalies, and uncover hidden correlations between deep Appalachian mines and pre-colonial burial mounds, many of which align directly above reported hollow glare hotspots. But this isn't just a history lesson or horror tale. It's a warning, because the hollow glare doesn't live in legend alone. The most recent sighting was just 7 months ago. A missing persons report from a spelunker whose phone was found resting on a mine's rusted rail. The last photo it captured was a blurry shape in the dark, and 2 perfect voids glowing faintly in the dust. As you watch, ask yourself, would you hear the voice? Would you follow? Could you resist looking into eyes that promised reunion, warmth, peace? The hollow glare isn't a monster that chases. It's a gaze that welcomes. And once you meet its eyes, you're already halfway gone.